Terrible monsters begin to manifest all over the world, plunging the planet into pure chaos. Facing this devastating threat, humanity is pushed toward an unprecedented crisis of extinction. But amidst this scenario of despair, there was a man named Gu Chen. Gu Chen was known as humanity's strongest and the great hope against the monsters. However, at a crucial moment, his former companions decided to betray him for selfish reasons. One of his former allies reveals that the idea to defeat him wasn't just his own, but came from everyone else present. But destiny smiles upon him, allowing him to live again, and he returns to the Gu family mansion. There, Gu Chen prepares to face his father's harsh accusations once more. Besides that, he will also have to deal with the constant bullying from his stepmother. This time, he does not stay silent and reminds the woman that she is just a concubine with no right to give him orders. With this new determination, he decides to walk a path of vengeance and totally show up the losers, so he summons his first creature. A beautiful demon girl with wings and horns appears, asking if Gu Chen is her master. The narrative then takes us back to explain how the world became sick and infested by a virus called monsters. Fortunately, over time, the era of universal awakening emerged, giving rise to the so-called professionals. These new warriors with special powers fight against the creatures and reclaim the lost lands. With their great deeds, they become the heroes of humanity after a long and difficult war against the monsters. After a long time, humanity finally prepares for the ultimate battle against the supreme monster, Azathoth. For this dangerous mission, the strongest team of professionals the world had ever known was mobilized. Everyone was very confident in victory, as they had the strongest of all on their team, the protagonist Gu Chen. However, what no one expected was that the hero would end up being betrayed by his own teammates. A blonde man with a scar on his face confronts Gu Chen, finding the protagonist's surprised expression completely natural. He explains that the professional's powers only awakened with the appearance of the monsters, and that defeating Azathoth is a risk. Standing before Gu Chen, who is fallen and injured, the blonde man says that by betraying him, they are securing their own future. The protagonist then asks the other professionals if they all agree with that treacherous decision. The serious faces of his former companions confirm that everyone is in on the plan to get rid of him. With his eyes glowing red, Gu Chen finally understands the depth of the betrayal he suffered. The blonde man and the other traitors gather, and he confirms that the idea to eliminate the hero was never his alone. They explain that keeping Azathoth alive ensures the professionals' power won't disappear, and that they will remain at the top. Gu Chen is accused of being too strong and obsessed with vanquishing the monsters, and he wonders if his dream was just foolishness. In his final moments, the protagonist reflects on how, deep down, he had always been completely alone. He remembers his childhood in the countryside, where his adoptive parents, his only real family, passed away a long time ago. Then he recalls the day his biological father, Gu Qingfen, a powerful man, found him and took him away. Upon being taken to Gu family's home, he was treated like trash by his new family, including his half-brother. Even with all the difficulties and contempt, Gu Chen trained hard to endure everything and grow stronger. He dedicated himself so much that he even helped his half-brother become a top-tier professional and handed over his own guild to him. With a bitter smile, he realizes that his dedication to getting stronger was, ironically, the cause of his own downfall. His half-brother taunts him, saying his obsession with avenging his adoptive parents will lead him to join them. The traitor reveals he was always disgusted by the fact that a country boy like Gu Chen dared to be his older brother. With hate in his eyes, the half-brother tells the protagonist to rest in peace and attacks him with his sword. In a swift and brutal move, the blonde man delivers the final strike against Gu Chen. The strike pierces Gu Chen's body and his eyes widen from the pain and shock of the final attack. His vision blurs and he can barely believe he is being taken down by his own allies. To everyone's horror, the monster Azathoth rises again, recovering its strength and spreading panic. Azathoth mocks the foolishness of humans, while the traitors, in despair, now beg for Gu Chen's help. Fallen on the ground, the protagonist bitterly realizes that his mission to wipe out the monsters isn't over yet. However, his body has reached the limit of exhaustion, and he has no strength left to stand up. The creature reveals it was never the final boss, and that there are countless other, far grander monsters. With his body completely battered, Gu Chen feels that his life, unfortunately, is coming to an end. But in a desperate last act, he uses Azathoth's heart, an item with a mysterious power over time. Using the heart's power, the young man tries to escape through time, leaving the creatures surprised by his boldness. He swears with all his soul that, if he gets another chance, he will fiercely defeat everyone in his path. His consciousness travels to the past, to the day of the ceremony where he failed to become a professional. With his eyes wide open, young Gu Chen stares at the result of the awakening ceremony, shocked by his failure. Suddenly, he finds himself in a younger body in a familiar place, trying to understand what happened. Slowly, it starts to dawn on him, and he realizes he has truly returned to a crucial moment in his past. He is in the Gu family mansion and understands he has been reborn, likely thanks to the power of the demon's heart. At that moment, a familiar authoritative voice orders him, the ungrateful son, to kneel immediately. The order came from his father, Gu Qingfeng, who harshly scolds him for not awakening a class at school. Gu Chen remembers that day perfectly when he failed and was humiliated, being seen as a burden by everyone. But something different happens and a system window appears in front of him, initiating the class awakening. A warning screen pops up informing him that different choices will lead entirely different career paths. Chen is surprised because in his past life it took him 1 year to awaken, but now everything is happening ahead of schedule. Next, a new notification informs him that upon completing the awakening task, he will receive a beginner's gift pack. The system then presents 3 career options: Sacred Swordsman, Sacred Shield Bearer, or Mysterious Shadow Path. The young man realizes he can change his class, and that these 3 options never existed in his previous life. He reflects on the choices and discards the idea of apologizing or bearing more responsibilities, as he has already suffered enough. His father yells that he can't discipline him just because he stays silent and orders him to kneel in the courtyard as punishment. But this time, Chen confronts him, saying he never fulfilled his duty as a father after abandoning him for 18 years. Qingfeng becomes furious at his son's boldness and asks how he dares to compare himself to his brother. Chen replies that in his father's heart, the true son was always the genius Gu Si, who awakened as a dragon knight. At that moment, his stepmother Qun Yun steps in and demands that he kneel and apologize to his father right away. With a cold look, the protagonist stares at her and asks what right she has to give him orders, being just a concubine. The woman is shocked and steps back, surprised by Chen's defiant attitude and harsh words. The boy's father unleashes a powerful aura and accuses him of disobeying and disrespecting his elders, acting like a thug. Chen feels the heavy pressure from his father, a powerful warrior from the north, weighing on his shoulders. Qingfeng steps forward and orders his son to kneel once more, promising to forgive his arrogant words if he obeys. Under the immense force, the young man's body is pressed down, almost forcing him to his knees against his will. Even under the enormous pressure, he gathers his strength and replies with a defiant smile that his father can keep dreaming. The man stares at his son in silence, perhaps surprised by the incredible determination he is showing. He then withdraws his pressure and says the boy has guts, and that he will forgive him if he just admits his mistake. With a tired sigh, Chen ironically asks himself if he should take the blame one more time, like he always did in the past. But he stands up and declares he is just a commoner from the countryside, unworthy of the noble Gu family, and that he is cutting all ties. As the young man turns and walks away, his father calls him trash and yells at him to get out, pretending he never had a son like him. In a fit of rage, Qingfeng orders the butler to immediately remove Chen's name from the family genealogy. The butler, however, respectfully informs him that young master Chen's name was never there to begin with. Far from the mansion, Chen receives a notification that he completed the task and selected the shadow path, ready to grow stronger. Right after, another warning screen pops up, congratulating the protagonist for finally awakening the summoner class. The system also confirms the activation of his super rare rank talent, the Darkness-born Summoner, and the acquisition of a new skill. He is surprised to have become a summoner, a class that requires a lot of resources early on, but possesses the rare super rare rank. In the Shangxia Kingdom, talents are ranked from S to E, so a super rare rank is something completely unheard of and mysterious to him. After completing the awakening task, the system rewards him with his first summoned beast, a bloodthirsty bat. The task reward screen appears again, highlighting the prize he just received for his bold choice. With a summoning ritual, dark energy manifests, and the system confirms he has successfully signed the contract. A small, harmless bat with common aptitude appears in his hand, featuring life steal and sonic attack talents. Chen is a bit disappointed to see his first servant is so weak, even for beginner dungeons. Determined to test his new talent, he activates the special skill that can convert normal creatures into shadow beings. Using his single charge of the skill, the shadow bloodline is transferred to the small bat through a bite. Powerful energy surrounds the tiny creature, and a system notification confirms the summoned beast has evolved. The evolution is complete, transforming the common bloodthirsty bat into an epic creature named Dagula. Chen is shocked to realize his talent made the creature skip 3 rarity levels, going directly from common to epic. To his total surprise, the evolved creature hovers in the air before the moon, now with a humanoid form and demon wings. Chen remembers that not even the strongest summoner from his past life obtained a humanoid beast so early on. Dagula's status screen confirms her epic aptitude, extremely high attributes, and a 10-point bonus to all of Chen's stats. The beautiful creature with white hair and red eyes lands gracefully and asks with a soft voice if he is her master. With a sharp smile baring her fangs, she confesses that she truly wishes to taste her new master's fresh life force. Sometime later, the protagonist travels on a high-speed train, heading to his next important destination. Inside the train, he opens his own status window to analyze the changes after his class awakening. He notes that his stats are almost 3 times higher than those of a normal person, an incredible bonus from his talent. The young man also reflects on how his new summoned beast seems quite different from what he knew. Dagula has her own personality and a unique craving for life force, which means she can fight autonomously. Sitting on the train, Chen makes a gesture and calmly orders Dagula, who is exploring the car, to return to him. The creature turns back into a small bat and lands on his shoulder, seemingly already hungry for experience. With his new power and his mighty creature, he is very eager for the first evaluation after his talent's awakening. The station sound system announces the arrival of the train from Gubia City to Lynching City. Chen steps off with confidence and walks through the station, announcing to himself that he is back at his old high school. The place he is heading to is the novice dungeon training ground of Lynching's #1 high school. There, a large group of students is gathered in a courtyard, waiting for instructions for the big day. A teacher named Jiang Songwoo addresses the students, saying that today will be their first real combat experience. She explains that the novice dungeon is only open for 10 days a year for newly awakened students below level 10. To reassure everyone, the teacher says the risk factor is low, but the rewards are slightly higher than normal. Teacher Jiang Songwoo explains that everyone needs to buy a teleportation scroll for safety, for only 200 gold coins. After given the instructions, she notices that not everyone is present and asks if anyone has seen young Gu Chen. One of the students replies that he hasn't returned yet, and another mocks him, saying he must have failed to awaken and is stuck in the countryside. The boy named Lin Yun gets annoyed by the teasing, but at that moment, Gu Chen's voice speaks up, apologizing for being late. The other students are surprised he showed up and comment that he isn't afraid of embarrassing himself. Ignoring the comments, the protagonist approaches the teacher, who asks which class he managed to awaken. He replies that he awakened as a summoner, and the teacher is very surprised by the young man's unusual choice. The girls around them whisper that Gu Chen looks more handsome, but he is focused on his own plans for the future. The other students make fun of him, saying the summoner class is for the rich and that he has no way to progress as a commoner. Jiang Songwoo tells everyone to quiet down and reminds them that the class is just one aspect, as personal performance is also very important. She then advises Gu Chen to choose good teammates and take a scroll, but he replies that he doesn't need the safety item. The teacher is shocked and insists, explaining that the school does not allow accidents and that she needs to notify his parents about this decision. Gu Chen's silence leaves the teacher speechless, and she looks at him with an expression of surprise and concern. With a sad look, she begins to think that his family must be having financial difficulties and that he is a pitiful child. Concerned for the student's safety, the teacher offers to pay for the item, but Gu Chen calmly interrupts her. With a confident smile, he explains that with the strength he possesses, there is no need to spend money on that item. She thinks that young people his age love to show off, while the other students mock him for being a broke summoner. However, the confident aura radiating from Gu Chen doesn't seem to be just an attempt to show off, but something real. Near the dungeon entrance, several professionals gather to form groups and trade items before going in. In the middle of the crowd, someone points at Gu Chen and identifies him as a summoner, and everyone assumes he must be from a wealthy family. But they soon recognize him as Gu Chen, a country boy, and mock him for playing such an expensive and useless class. The protagonist ignores the remarks, thinking he needs a party of at least 5 people to activate the secret dungeon. At that moment, his childhood friend, Lin Yuan, approaches and asks where he has been for the past 1 month. Without giving many details, Gu Chen replies briefly, saying he was just sorting out some personal matters. His friend complains about his coldness and says he was worried, making the protagonist wonder if they were really that close. Lin Yuan then hands him a teleportation scroll, explaining that teacher Jiang paid for it out of her own pocket. The young man takes the item and thinks that the teacher was very kind to him, and that one day he will find a way to return the favor. He promises himself that in this new life, he will cherish those who treat him well and make all the traders pay for what they did. His friend then questions how he intends to raise a summoned beast if he can't even buy a simple scroll. The protagonist explains he had no choice and asks why Lin Yuan, being a swordsman, hasn't entered the dungeon yet. The friend replies that he doesn't have good gear and mentions Li Wenhua, the elite class monitor, who entered with rare armor. Hearing the name, Gu Chen remembers that one of the traders from his past life was exactly a member of Lynching's Li family. Lin Yuan shows a large sword and reveals he traded his safety scroll for it, betting everything on this chance. Thinking of a way to complete the party, Gu Chen surprises his friend by asking if he wants to be carried through the dungeon. Lin Yuan says his leader is Li Wenhui and that he paid 50,000 to join, so adding one more person shouldn't be an issue. His friend gets excited about the idea and guarantees that, if the leader doesn't accept Gu Chen into the team, he will leave the group right away. But a notification pops up, informing him that Li Wenhui not only rejected the request, but also kicked Lin Yuan out of the party. Gu Chen then tells him not to worry and tells him to announce that a summoner will carry 4 people to a triple S rank. Lin Yuan is in disbelief, as a triple S rating could guarantee direct admission into the capital academy. With a confident smile, the protagonist simply asks whether his friend believes in him or not. After a moment of hesitation, Lin Yuan takes a deep breath and decides to trust his friend at least one time. He fills his lungs with air and gets ready to make the most important announcement of his life to the surrounding crowd. In a loud voice, he shouts that a divine summoner is taking 4 people to get a triple S rating in the dungeon. The people around them become confused and skeptical, wondering since when Lynching City had such a genius. After finding out it is a commoner summoner, everyone starts laughing, saying it's a hilarious joke. Gu Chen tells his friend to ignore the fools, as professional matters should be handled by real professionals. Lin Yuan feels frustrated about having to pay to be carried, but understands it is the only way to find a good team. Meanwhile, 2 girls, the warrior Lin Qingqing and the assassin Su Ran, consider joining the team because it's free. The 2 of them decide to take the risk and approach Gu Chen's group, catching the attention of the protagonist and his friend. They agree to bet on the team since in the worst-case scenario, they have a teleportation scroll to escape. Unexpectedly, another boy nearby hears the conversation and tells the group to count him in as well. The new member approaching is Wu Zi, a level 1 fighter who looks quite strong and confident. Lin Yuan gets excited about adding the class monitor, who says he is only there to make up the numbers. However, Wu Zi demands an extra payment, leaving Lin Yuan desperate as they wouldn't make any profit. Gu Chen agrees to the conditions, but states that he will be the leader and will choose the dungeon, sending invites to everyone. With a smirk, the protagonist thinks that his new teammate's perspective on difficulty is very narrow. All 4 members accept the invite, and the party is officially formed to enter the novice dungeon. The protagonist then approaches a stone structure and starts doing something that leaves everyone confused. A blue energy wraps around the stones, which begin to float in the air and shatter into multiple pieces. Before everyone's amazed eyes, a strange red portal with a very dangerous aura appears in its place. With a confident smile, he thinks that the secret dungeon, which can be opened with a specific method, is still there. The team goes into full panic mode, not understanding why the portal is red and what is going on there. Gu Chen, the group's leader, tells everyone to stop talking and just follow him as they already agreed to the terms. The red portal pulses with sinister energy, emitting a frightening sound while waiting for the group to enter. Without being able to react, all 5 team members are forcefully pulled inside the mysterious portal. Outside, everyone is confused, and a student explains that the Commodore Summoner opened a new portal and took everyone with him. The Dean of Students approaches and stares at the portal in astonishment, recognizing the dangerous red color. Panicking, the Dean reveals that it is a special hidden portal with a 99% fatality rate for novices. The group is transported inside a dark, ancient dungeon, and the system informs them they have entered the temple ruins. Wu Zi, furious, grabs Gu Chen and accuses him of dragging them into a hidden dungeon without knowing anything about its difficulty. With a swift move, the protagonist catches the fighter's hand and reminds him that they agreed he would make the choices. The class monitor is shocked because, even though he is a fighter focused on physical strength, he was easily restrained by Gu Chen. The other team members panic, as they didn't study the monsters of that place and have no way to prepare. Wu Zi calls him crazy and says he wants out, but Gu Chen warns him that the choice is his: trust him or be a coward. Seeing his friend's fear, the protagonist offers his own teleportation scroll to Lin Yuan as a guarantee. Now, with all 4 of them having an escape route, they feel a bit safer to at least try their luck. One of the group members asks how he found the dungeon, and Gu Chen replies that it was just a hunch. In his mind, he remembers seeing on the news in his past life that a novice accidentally opened this portal. At that time, the portal attracted many adventurers, but in the end, only one elite team managed to conquer the place. As they explore the temple, the team hopes the difficulty is normal and that they can survive the challenge. Going deeper into the temple, the team comes across a spooky sight of several sarcophagi holding fallen armored warriors. Suddenly, the red eyes of one of the armored warriors light up, indicating he is about to awaken from his slumber. With a serious look, Gu Chen warns everyone that the dungeon monsters are finally starting to manifest. An army of level 2 creatures called Fallen Guards rises and charges at the group of intruders. The team panics upon seeing there are 10 level 2 monsters, a difficulty that seems to be on the infernal tier. The protagonist takes control and says he will handle the monsters, asking no one to interfere or steal the loot. With a smirk, Gu Chen summons his tiny creature, calling the little bat out to play for a bit. His companions can't believe their eyes and think he is joking by trying to fight with such a small bat. But with a simple order to strike, the little bat transforms into an imposing figure and charges into battle. The creature Dagula in her humanoid form faces one of the guards and extends her sharp claws for combat. With incredible speed, she bites the armored monster's neck, showing her true vampiric nature. The guard doesn't have the slightest chance to fight back and is completely defeated, shattering into several pieces. In the blink of an eye, Dagula defeats all the enemies, and multiple experience notifications pop up on the party screen. The team's jaws drop at the scene, and Wu Zia realizes the creature is actually an epic tier summoned beast. He can't believe the weakest summoner class can have an epic beast, something extremely rare in the Empire. Everyone calculates the damage was at least 3,000, and that not even Liu Hui could defeat 10 monsters at once. Lin Yuan realizes that in just a few days, Gu Chen has become incredibly strong, meaning they have a true leader. The protagonist smiles, satisfied to see that an epic beast can easily wipe out monsters of the same level with no trouble. A status window confirms Gu Chen has leveled up to level 2, and his summoned beast is now stronger as well. He gains one more use of this shadow bloodline and wonders what that bloodline awakening on his screen could be. The team watches without understanding, and Wu Zia comments that the creature is already strong and still has room to evolve even further. A system notification confirms that the bloodline awakening of the beast, now named Dracula, was a total success. Her stats nearly double and she gains a new talent, and Gu Chen projects they can easily reach level 6. With the creature floating in its shadow form, the protagonist asks with an air of superiority if anyone still wants to quit. All 4 team members, now absolutely terrified, shake their heads no with nervous smiles. With everyone finally on the same page, Gu Chen leads the group with a confident smile, and they continue moving forward. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, the mysterious and dangerous red portal keeps pulsing with energy. The teachers and the dean wonder why no one has come out yet, even with the teleportation scrolls they possessed. Teacher Jang Samwa feels guilty, wondering how she will explain it to the students' parents if an accident happens. Suddenly, a progress bar appears over the portal, and everyone is shocked to see they are clearing the dungeon. The screen shows that the current dungeon clearing progress is already at 10% to everyone's surprise. The dean is stunned to learn they are in a nightmare difficulty dungeon and asks for the students' files. Upon seeing the names, the man assumes the monitor Wu Zie is leading and praises him for carrying a summoner with him. But the teacher remembers the captain is Gu Chen, and the confidence he showed earlier begins to make more sense. Inside the dungeon, the team is attacked by a black mist deacon, and Wu Zie yells for help as he can't hold out anymore. Gu Chen watches them from afar and calmly scolds them, reminding them he had told them not to make any moves. His companions defend themselves, saying they couldn't just return empty-handed after coming in there. Little Su Ran, amidst tears of despair, screams for her big brother, Gu Chen, to save them as fast as possible. The protagonist decides to step in so he doesn't lose points on his rating, but his creature Dracula seems to be having fun. With a wave of his hand, the young summoner releases a wave of red energy and tiny shadow bats at the enemies. With his hands wrapped in red energy, the protagonist gets ready to show his true combat strength. His eyes glow with an intense red light, and a powerful aura begins to radiate from his entire body. He charges at high speed, leaving a trail of energy on the ground, preparing to strike the monster. Activating his creature's skill, called Crimson Banquet, he lands a powerful blow on the enemy. While his creature hunts and defeats the opponents, he receives a feedback of their stats, growing stronger and stronger. The moment he calls his summon back, all the power it gathered is transferred straight to him. The stat gains return to the summoner, drastically boosting his combat capabilities for a while. After 2 of Dracula's evolutions, his own melee stats have also become incredibly powerful. With his new powers, his close combat ability is now strong enough to rival warrior classes. The fighter Wu Zie is shocked to realize that the summoner Gu Chen's strength is even greater than his own. After the intense battle and the monster's defeat, a system notification confirms that player Gu Chen leveled up. He reaches level 3 and his summoned beast Dracula also levels up alongside him, dissipating the red energy. A new notification informs him that he gained 1 more use of the Shadow Bloodline, which can transform or awaken creatures. Gu Chen realizes he has a chance to earn 1 Shadow Bloodline with every level and decides to save it for his next summon. Before the boss battle, he gives his companions the chance to use their teleportation scrolls and leave if they are afraid. Everyone denies it vehemently, saying that whoever leaves now would be a coward and that they want to help in the final fight. Now fully confident in their leader's power, the 5-member team ventures into the depths of the dungeon. Wu Zi asks if Gu Chen will pick the infernal difficulty next time, and he confirms that is the next target. The fighter then, with a nervous smile, asks if he can be carried by him in the next dungeon too. Gu Chen explains that an infernal-level dungeon is extremely dangerous, and the slightest mistake could be fatal for everyone. Wu Zi shouts that he is not afraid, but Gu Chen explains that's not the point, leaving the fighter even more confused. With a smirk, the protagonist simply replies that to tag along, his classmate will have to pay extra. The class monitor is completely stunned, wearing a confused and comical expression at the unexpected proposal. Gu Chen reveals the price, 100,000 per person, thinking to himself that he needs money to upgrade his stats with crystals. The fighter is shocked by the amount, but Lin Qingqing surprisingly says it's not expensive and that she will go with them anyway. The warrior explains that a triple S rating guarantees bonus points on the academy exams, making the investment totally worth it. Seeing the logic, Wu Zi also agrees to participate, promising to transfer the money as soon as they exit the dungeon. The protagonist then warns them seriously, making it clear he won't carry anyone who drags down the group's performance. In his thoughts, Gu Chen reinforces the mission's importance, since he needs a crucial item that the dungeon boss possesses. Finally, the group arrives at a large pyramid-shaped structure, and the leader announces that the big boss is there. At that moment, a massive amount of dust and shadow energy begins to gather in the center of the arena, forming a creature. A level 7 monster in a black cloak appears before them, and the system identifies it as the boss, the Black Cloak Deacon.